You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.
Boys and girls, welcome to the Exceptional Conservative Show live from the nation's capital. We are not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, for it is the power of liberation, first to the Republican and then to the socialist. I am just so glad to have Mary Brockman. I'm telling you, I love me some Mary Brockman. Yeah, Mary, you did send me a great movie. I think that was Was it via Facebook message? Please say it was via Facebook message. I got to go back and take a look at it. Yes. Okay, great. Excellent. So I did see it. So, ladies and gentlemen, recommendations are coming in for movie night. Tomorrow night, I will be able to announce the editor's cut, which has been selected for Sunday night at 10 o'clock, 10:05 in fact. In the 7:05 movie, we will begin the polling process for the 7:05 movie. So I'm ecstatic, I'm excited, and then we'll know exactly which movies will be up for this coming night, Sunday night. Listen, election season is about to begin. I need another place to move my clock, don't I, Mary? Because it's so bright now with our new lighting that you can't see the clock. So I need to find another place for the clock. You know, I got to figure that out. Maybe I just need to reassemble the studio so that people will be able to see everything, the clock and everything else. But let me know, Mary. Mary Brockman, my bouncer in chief. If you diss her, you diss me. You will be dismissed from our program. I wanted to touch on a subject tonight that I believe has been made very important, because this is the reasoning that I'm going to do this. The reasoning is very simple. You have too much stuff. Don't tell Mrs. Biggs that, because she's been telling me that for a while. I got too much stuff. You don't see the rest of the studio either, so I got to figure something out with all the good stuff I got. And keep the books at Lynn's class. Okay, I'll keep the books. Make me look classy. So that I will do. Make it look like I have a library and that I'm educated. You are so educated. Um, let's do this. Before we introduce what we're going to talk about, let's do what we love doing most. It is the U.S. flag behind us, the words to the Pledge of Allegiance as well behind us, ladies and gentlemen. We ask that you take all the stuff from your forehead, back, all the hats off, take all that stuff up, put your right hand over your heart and pledge allegiance to the United States of America. Yeah, baby, yeah. So, yeah. I love my country. Unlike any other country in the world, I love my country. I tell you, I really do. So, without a shadow of a doubt, you know what we do. Our kids lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and it has everything to do about God blessing America, America blessing God. When we come back, I'm going to tell you 2 things that you need to do with your children every single day. 2 things. Kids, take it away. Right hand over your heart, people.
Face your parents. Ready, begin. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta love the children, and I know you clap and you're just ecstatic for them. They're just the most wonderful people on the face of the earth. But you cannot trust what happens in the classrooms of today. No one can tell me that they can. You just cannot do so. So there are 2 things that you need to do with your children every single day before they go off to school. Number 1, you need to pray with them. Number 2, pledge. Pray and pledge with them every single day. Because not only will you turn their world around, but when they go into the world, they will turn it around as well. Weather forecasting ain't easy. It ain't. Like, Mary, tomorrow, where you live in Ohio, okay, I'm going to tell you exactly what the temperature is going to be at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. All right? So write down. This is what the temperature is going to be tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. It will be 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Hold me to it now. Hold me to it. Now, Mary and I both know. Try to shim the top of the clock to get the glare off of it. Shim. Okay. I can work on that. With rain? No. Don't push me, Mary. I'm going with a temperature. I'm going with a number. Mary and I both know it is one of the most difficult things. It's easier for me to tell you who's going to win the Super Bowl next year than for me to tell you what the weather is going to be like at any time tomorrow. It is nearly impossible to do weather. And in fact, a lot of people have this idea that the weathermen that they tune to every single night, they come on every night and they give you a weather. Most people forget the weather report after it's been given. They do, unless it's really something big like a tornado or something. I mean, something. It's got to be a major storm. And in fact, when we look at what the etymology of the term weather is, all right, y'all going to be tripping when we see the etymology here. Here it is. Here's the etymology. Online etymology dictionary. Weather, verb, come through safely. This is basically what weather is. Whatever it is, to come through safely. Okay. So it's impossible. And 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, if it's 74 degrees tomorrow, let me know, because I might find a new gig. Okay. weather meant time in the Latin, tempestus. That's basically what weather meant. It meant time. And you could tell time during the course of the day by the sun's movement. And there were thoughts that the sun caused the rain and everything else. And so there have been very many theories regarding weather, including the black grandmama theorem that when it starts lightning and thundering, you have to go down into your basement and you got to stay there and you got to go to sleep. You got to shut up. What I didn't realize is that my mom would actually feed us before the thunderstorm came so that when we went to sleep, we were gone. She could stay upstairs. She could watch her stories and everything else. She was in total peace. Vacation. That is a good forecaster. It is a most difficult thing to forecast weather. Nearly impossible, because forecasting weather is nearly impossible. In fact, when you see the etymology, okay, of forecast, you're not going to like it, really, but here it is. My phone says 74. Oh, my God. Glory be to God. Oh, my God. Now, if it happens, okay, God, I am so sorry to have played with you all these years. I am so sorry. I am not intending to be. That's what it says, Mary. 2 o'clock tomorrow, it's going to be 74 degrees. They tell you what the weather is in 12 years, but not tomorrow. Exactly. Basically, it's impossible to do. Now, I don't believe it will be 74. This is me. I don't believe I'm a prophet. Okay? And I'll be honest with you, Mary, I listened to a voice from above when I gave that time and that temperature. I swear. As I was talking to you, that's exactly what I was doing. There is no paper here. I didn't do any study before that. I haven't done any review. Mrs. Biggs will tell you that. So, literally, if it happens that way, wow, I'm better at this than Al Gore and AOC. And so tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about global warming and how not only is the left ready to double down on it, but they're drawing the right into it. And this is the most dangerous thing for the people on the right. It was dangerous for the evangelicals to agree with the hockey stick. It showed that you were not listening to the same voice that told me exactly what the time would be at 2 o'clock tomorrow. So, yeah, okay. You weren't listening to that voice. So I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, forecasting is about scheming. And so is climate change. It's a scheme. And it's not about what you think it is, about your safety, about your well-being. It is a scheme to separate a fool from his money. We'll be right back with more of the best. And look what comes up now as the commercial. Glory be to God.
I started the Armed Citizens Legal Defense Network in 2008, and we put this together for us. The concept was that if one of us armed citizens are involved in a self-defense incident, then we have a network of individuals behind that person in order to help them get through the legal fight, if necessary, after the incident.
Deal with the aftermath of a deadly force encounter where they have survived the initial fight to save their lives and are now attempting, working very hard to be able to save their futures as well.
What really has impressed me is the boots on the ground side of it. Having had some small part in some of the cases where ACLDN has come in and helped people who are in trouble, I've seen Marty Hayes' vision for this organization fulfilled.
Last year, one of my students had called upon me, ACLDN services, after he was forced into a fatal defensive shooting. He was guided through the process. His rights were protected by a network-provided attorney, and got through the entire legal process without any real difficulties. Now it's behind him. He's able to move on with his life.
Ladies and gentlemen, I had to confer with Mrs. Biggs during the break. I apologize for the tech issues there or whatever, but that's shocking to me. I'm Mary, I don't know. That's to me, and a lot of times people have told me that I was a prophet. I am not perfect. But there is no doggone way that I should have been able to tell you exactly what the temperature is going to be tomorrow at 2 o'clock. There's just no doggone way. Which basically means that by my standard, and I claim it unto God. That's the only way I would know it. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does, I claim it unto God. It's only Him. I would say to you that I am better at forecasting than this person.
Fora TV, the world is thinking.
It's hard to capture the astonishment that the experts in the science of ice felt when they saw this minimum in 2005, which meant that the amount of ice that had melted, it's been roughly the size of the continental United States, minus an area roughly the size of Arizona, nothing against Arizona. But the amount that melted in 2005 was equivalent to an area covering everything east of the Mississippi River in the United States. Then, when the real shock to the scientists came was in 2007, when this happened. Their phrase was, it fell off a cliff. And then the extra amount that melted was this much. Now this covers the area of ice. It does not cover the volume of the ice, and Bob Carell referred to this. The U.S. Naval Postgraduate School has a team that integrates the U.S. Navy's nuclear submarines that go under the ice cap and satellite measurements that are calibrated to work with it. And based on that, they said actually 2008 had a smaller minimum, probably, than 2007. And these are figures that are fresh. I don't know if they've been, I don't know when they were released, but I just got them yesterday from Dr. Václav Maslowski at the Naval Postgraduate School. And this is the volumetric record of the ice. And some of the models suggest to Dr. Maslowski that there is a 75% chance that the entire North Polar ice cap during some of the summer months could be completely ice-free within the next 5 to 7 years. And Bob used a figure of 2030, and the volumetric analysis leads this Dr. Maslowski to make that projection. We will find out.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, by the Al Gore standard, we should all be fishers with men. We should be all swimming because the Arctic and the Antarctic should have all melted by now. The sea should have risen at least 20 feet. We should all be underwater. We should be the new Noah based on that. But you know, the one thing about prophecy is this. And I'm going to call it what it is. It is political prophecy. Which basically means, according to the scriptures, God said if someone spoke a prophecy and it did not come to pass, then it was not a voice from him. And thus he is not a prophet, i.e. Muhammad. Okay? So just want to let you know that. So Al Gore said that by 2009, the Arctic would be gone. The Antarctic would follow. And we will all be living under the sea. Under the sea. Okay, Disney, sorry. He's not a prophet because it didn't happen. And in fact, there are some reports from NASA that say that not only did the Arctic not shrink, it grew and grew substantially. And so did the Antarctic. But, like the political prophets of old, we have a political prophet anew.
And we're like, the world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. And your biggest issue is, your biggest issue is how are we going to pay for it? And like, this is the war, this is our World War II. I think that the part of it that is generational is that millennials and people and Gen Z and all these folks that come after us are looking up, and we're like, the world is going to end in 12 years if we don't address climate change. And your biggest issue is your biggest issue is how are we going to pay for it? And like, this is the war, this is our World War II. And I think for younger people, we're looking at this and we're like, how are we saying let's take it easy when 3,000 Americans died last year? How are we saying let's take it easy when the nth person has just died from our cruel and unjust criminal justice system? How are we saying take it easy when the America that we're living in today is so dystopian, with people sleeping in their cars so that they can work a second job without health care, and we're told to settle down? It's a fundamental separation between, that fierce urgency of now, the why we can't wait that King spoke of, that at some point these chronic realities do reach a breaking point. And I think for our generation, it's reached that. And I wish I didn't have to be, doing every post, but sometimes I just feel like people aren't being held accountable. And until we all start pitching in and holding people accountable, I'm just going to let them have it.
It's going to break down. Is it in 2040? It's just kind of just sort of slightly, so they don't actually. It's sort of slightly over the horizon, or it's just on the horizon. So we're aware of 2040, but we're not going to be held to our forecast. Even during the Nazi period, you see this strain of anti-industrialization, and it happens to be the case that the first political party anywhere in the world to have a wind power program was the Nazi Party. And 6 weeks after invading the Soviet Union, Adolf Hitler was telling his dinner companions that wind power is the future.
Spend trillions of dollars that we don't have over a couple decades. It would totally destroy the coal and fossil fuel industry. And with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she's constantly wrong but never in doubt. She's walking the halls of Congress trying to get people to sign up for this thing. But again, it's only going to further disenfranchise middle America to the Democrat Party. But she's definitely catering to the elites in Malibu and Manhattan. But she's going to lose Missouri, Indiana, in the middle of the part of the country, talking about eliminating hundreds of thousands of jobs, raising utility costs, and spending trillions of dollars we do not have.
See, that guy there, he doesn't understand the significance of her prophecy. You know, Al Gore was a prophet, yeah. And he made a mistake. Come on, he was only off by a few million years. He was just a little bit. But her prophecy of the end times, I'm waiting for her to leave Congress so that she could put the schmuck on or whatever and get the long white beard and look so disheveled or whatever and go into the street preaching the end times are here with the little sign or whatever. The end times are here. They want you to know, those Marxists, because I want y'all to know tonight, it's all about money. It has nothing to do with science. It has nothing to do with saving the world. It does not have anything to do about taking the plastic wrapper around the neck of the turtle off of it. None of that stuff has nothing to do. It has everything to do with the redistribution of your wealth. Not from the rich to the poor, but from the rich to the influencers. The poor, screw them. They don't need wind turbines. Nah, baby. This is all about transferring wealth from one generation to an influence.
This is not an elitist issue. This is a quality of life issue. You want to tell people that their concern and their desire for clean air and clean water is elitist? Tell that to the kids in the South Bronx, which are suffering from the highest rates of childhood asthma in the country. Tell that to the families in Flint, whose kids have their blood is ascending in lead levels. Their brains are damaged for the rest of their lives. Call them elitist. You're telling them that those kids are trying to get on a plane to Davos? People are dying. They are dying. And the response across the other side of the aisle is to introduce an amendment 5 minutes before a hearing in a markup. This is serious. This should not be a partisan issue. This is about our constituents in all of our lives. Iowa, Nebraska, broad swaths of the Midwest are drowning right now, underwater. Farms, towns that will never be recovered and never come back. And we're here, and people are more concerned about helping oil companies than helping their own families? I don't think so. I don't think so. This is about our lives. This is about American lives. And it should not be partisan. Science should not be partisan. We are facing a national crisis. And if we do not ascend to that crisis, if we do not ascend to the levels in which we were threatened at the Great Depression, when we were threatened in World War II, if we do not ascend to those levels, if we tell the American public that we are more willing to invest and bail out big banks than we are willing to invest in our farmers and our urban families, then I don't know what we're here doing. I don't know what we're here doing. That the government knew that climate change was real starting as far back as 1989 when NASA was reporting this. And the private sector knew way back in the 1970s. So we had until around the time I was born to address this issue. I wish it didn't have to cost so much. But I'm going to turn 30 this year, and for the entire 30 years of my lifetime, we did not make substantial investments to prepare our entire country for what we knew was coming. So now it's coming all up at the end. It's like when we live our whole lives and we don't eat healthily and we don't move and we pursue unhealthy activities. And then at the end of our lives, our healthcare costs are very high. We have the choice to lower the cost now, because I can tell you the cost of pursuing a Green New Deal will be far less than the cost of not passing it.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have been preached to by the almighty prophetess AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And on the seventh day, when everyone else would rest, her mouth would not. And she proceeded to prophesy that on 12 years, a year of perfection, a new government. 12 years, a new government in Hebrew. Did you know that? Yeah, numerology, look it up, 12 years. A new government shall come because the old world has passed away. We shall all die. So here it is. A fool and a Gordon Gekko. Love this line from Wall Street. One of my favorite movies of all time. Citizen Kane, Wall Street. Two of my favorite movies all time. I love those movies. Gordon Gekko said, a fool and his money are lucky to get together in the first place. And really, AOC and the rest of the Democrats, because she's Speaker of the House. AOC is Speaker of the House. Pelosi isn't. I know some of you all say, no, Ken. Yeah. The real party leader for the Democrats is AOC. And she is doubling down on global warming and climate change. So much so that Republicans are asked, where's your plan? When the answer should be, there's not a need for a plan because it does not exist. Man-made global warming does not exist. I know you teachers have gone to school and indoctrinated our children that they need to separate the plastic from the paper. And they're not even clerks at the grocery store. I know what you've done to our kids. I know what you've done to us. You've given us different size trash cans that we can place and break up the put it right here. You all have convinced us that it's not only man-made, but it is U.S. man-made. It is U.S. white man-made trash that's creating global warming. You convinced us. AOC, the prophetess, has convinced us. The Democrats have proceeded to indoctrinate our children and our children's children in the public school system that if we don't change what we're doing, we're going to destroy the world. And I want you to know, God's been at this for a little while longer than AOC or Al Gore, and he's done pretty well, even though the biggest polluters of the world are not, it's not the U.S. The two biggest polluters of the world, India, the Republic of China. The Communist Republic of China. The Communist Republic of China is number one, India is number two. But I don't hear anyone around the world saying that those two powers should contribute anything. Oh, I know. When we get back, ladies and gentlemen, why is that? Why is this conversation so important? It's important because it tells you the direction of the Democrat Party. The moderates are no longer being listened to. The rulers of the Democrat Party began and end with AOC. And I'm going to show you how powerful she really is. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, I am currently washing our brand new King sheets. So while I'm waiting, I just wanted to get on here and tell you about our new mattress. This mattress is a king size mattress, so it's already life-changing. It is one of the newest mattress brands that I've heard of, Dream Cloud. If you go to dreamcloudsleep.com, you can read more about it. But this mattress, it arrived at our door, which was super convenient. It also didn't even come in a box. It was in a blue bag, which I thought was pretty cool because I'm constantly getting rid of so much cardboard. It was super heavy, so it did take us a while to get it upstairs. This is definitely a more high-end, luxurious mattress. It is so comfortable. Hey, Colby. It is about 15 inches thick, so it's super supportive, super plush. It has a true tufted cashmere top, which is so comfortable. Another cool thing about this brand is that you get 365-day trial period where you can test it out risk-free for a whole year. Also, you get a lifetime warranty, so that's pretty cool. So I videoed us unboxing. You can watch it real quick right here, and thank you so much for watching.
The dream deferred is real. You've been waiting for the Exceptional Conservative Network, and now it's here. Go to TheExceptionalConservativeShow.com. Tune in and get the best in urban conservative talk. Stop dreaming. It's real.
Hi guys, so I am back with another haul. You guys know I collaborate with Shein every month. They are one of my favorite companies to work with because I really love a lot of their clothing. So I'm sharing my picks with you this month from the website. So yeah, I'm just going to basically just show you the items, and if you have any questions, just leave them below in the comment section and I'll be more than happy to answer for you. I have told you guys repeatedly, Shein is an Asian-based company. You're gonna have hits, you're gonna have misses. I follow the size chart. Most of the time it works for me, but not all of the time. Most of the time their items work for me. Sometimes, you know, we have some duds. So I think that's it. Let's get into the haul. For you guys, use the natural 20 for a discount on the Shein website. So that's cool that they gave me a discount code for y'all to use. So I will see you guys in my next haul video. I don't know when that will be because I've kind of pumped the brakes on my shopping. Y'all know I shop a lot. I like to shop. I have a discount code for you guys. Use the natural 20 for a discount on the Shein website. So that's cool that they gave me a discount code for y'all to use. So I will see you guys in my next haul video. I don't know when that will be because I've kind of pumped the brakes on my shopping. Y'all know I shop a lot. I like to shop. But my birthday's coming up, so I want to like pump it a little bit because I'm going to be going to Europe. Hopefully that's what I'm going to do. That's what I want to do right now. I want to go to Europe for my birthday. So we'll see. And yeah, I think that's all for now. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.TheExceptionalConservativeshow.com.
So I want to like pump it a little bit because I'm going to be going to Europe. Hopefully that's what I'm going to do. That's what I want to do right now. I want to go to Europe for my birthday. So we'll see. And yeah, I think that's all for now. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.TheExceptionalConservativeshow.com.
My producer has joined us in the chat room. Love you, Bonnie. So glad to have you here tonight. So I have to be on my best behavior from now on. You know, get criticized and fined. You don't want that. You don't want that. My producer has joined us in the chat room. Love you, Bonnie. So glad to have you here tonight. So I have to be on my best behavior from now on. You know, get criticized and fined. You don't want that. You don't want that. So Mary Brockman told me, do you know where Muhammad said the sun sets? And I said, no, where, Mary? And in a pool of mud in the west. Okay, that's prophecy, baby. That's real prophecy there. That's simply amazing. And Mary Brockman told me, do you know where Muhammad said the sun sets? And I said, no, where, Mary? And in a pool of mud in the west. Okay, that's prophecy, baby. That's real prophecy there. That's simply amazing. And they follow that dude. And I just want you to understand, because a lot of people say, I can't believe that people after Al Gore would follow global warming. I can't believe it that they would go from global warming to global cooling. I just can't believe it. I can't believe that someone would follow. And let me just, and I just want you to understand, because a lot of people say, I can't believe that people after Al Gore would follow global warming. I can't believe it that they would go from global warming to global cooling. I just can't believe it. I can't believe that someone would follow. And let me just say, I don't believe that she would ever apply for Mensa, AOC. I don't believe she could fill out the application form. But I would tell you that it doesn't seem to matter who is the drum majorette, who's leading the band. The left say, I don't believe that she would ever apply for Mensa, AOC. I don't believe she could fill out the application form. But I would tell you that it doesn't seem to matter who is the drum majorette, who's leading the band. The left, as religious as they are, as sacred as they are when it comes to environmentalism, are equally committed to global warming and global cooling. So it's kind of like global warming and global cooling and the environmentalism. That's like the Trinity, you know, that they pray to that. And there is a reason why they pray to that. It's because they're trying to separate you from your wealth. It has nothing to do about saving the world. And in the next segment, and when we get into the second hour of our program, I'm going to just show you there are at least 100 reasons, and scientists will give you 100 reasons why there's no such thing as man-made global warming. But it doesn't matter. Remember, she said in the clip before we went to break, it said science shouldn't be partial. Yet, science is not partial. Science can never be partial. Science is an exact representation. True science is an exact representation of observation of God. It's just that simple. Who created the universe? God. So what will we do? We will observe what God created. That's true science. True science just basically tells you what God did, and this is how it will work for you. It is tried, it is tested, it's true. But that's not the same religion. That's not the same sacred, divine pursuit of the left. Their intent is like, it's like that medicine man that used to come to town and would sell you bottles of water and tell you that you would be healed in 3 days of cancer, and he would be out of town by the time he sold out. It's a witch doctor mentality that hocus pocus, ooh, 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 ooh. If I say something the right way, you know, you'll be healed. Give me your money now because we made an offering unto the rock god or the tree god or the sand god, and by tomorrow morning you'll be healed. Witch doctor's gone. And when you find a witch doctor, it must have been something you did that you didn't figure out. You know what I'm saying? I want you to understand that it is a religion. And in fact, just like Islam is a religion, it's more a cult. So is environmental religiosity.
So children being forced to the center of the Green New Deal debate, effective strategy or bound to backfire. Let's bring in New York City public advocate candidate Nomiki Konst and the former governor of Arkansas, Mike Huckabee. Great to have both of you with us tonight.
Hi, Shannon and Mike.
All right, I want to play a little bit of what the Congresswoman had to say on Friday about the fact that she says, listen, everybody's coming after my Green New Deal, but they're not proposing anything. So in the meantime, here's where things stand.
And I'm like, you try. You do it.
Right.
Because you're not. Because you're not. So until you do it, I'm the boss.
That's
How about that?
Governor, she's the boss.
I love it.
I thought when people get elected, they were servants, not bosses. I'm just startled by this. But listen, I don't want her to stop talking. I want her to continue to be the voice and face of the Democratic Party, because nothing is going to be more helpful to Republicans, and specifically to President Trump's reelection, than continuing to have this kind of stuff going on as if it's to be taken seriously. And her comment about maybe people shouldn't have children because it would affect climate change. change. I mean, that's as over the top as anything I've ever heard. I'm going to say maybe liberals shouldn't reproduce, but those of us on the other side think it's okay. We'll continue to enjoy our kids and grandkids.
All right. Well, Namiki, to that point, you know, she's talking about the threats to the environment. Has talked about 12 years left before the planet implodes. Well, there are new estimated costs on this Green New Deal, up to $93 trillion. The data says that's a cost of $600,000 per U.S. household. They said if you taxed every household in the U.S. earning over $30,000 a year at 100%, in 10 years, you still couldn't pay for it. I mean, that sounds like if those numbers are anywhere in the ballpark, I mean, that's a threat to kids' futures, too.
Well, the whole concept of the Green New Deal, that's just flawed. The whole concept of the Green New Deal is that the wealthiest of the wealthiest, the 0.1%, are the ones who pay the taxes because they're the ones who are really endangering our environment. These multinational corporations who are really causing emissions to release. I mean, the developers in New York, let's just start with that. New York City, which had a hurricane just a few years ago, in which people still don't have their homes in parts of Brooklyn and parts of Queens. In New York City, the place that generates more wealth than anywhere on the planet, they still don't have homes because of a hurricane. We produce, most of our emissions comes from buildings. The real estate developers barely pay any taxes, and they're the ones who don't want to crack down and retrofit their buildings. So when you look at the big business, it's the people who don't want to pay taxes. The big business doesn't want to pay taxes.
But Namiki, this
it's
is
not
saying
going to be on average
if you tax people who make $30,000 and up,
that's not the Green New Deal, though.
But
That's
everyone
not the Green
who
New
makes
Deal.
$30,000 or up, you'd have to take 100% of their
that's
income for
not
10
the
years,
Green New Deal.
and you still
That
wouldn't
is
pay
the
for
Fox
it.
News version.
That's
of the
not the
Green
Fox
New
News
Deal.
version. This is the American Action Form. It's not ours.
Exactly. A random organization. The actual policy of the Green
Governor,
New Deal is to tax the elite who are really endangering the next generation.
Governor, and I am saying this does include the top tax earners. It's $30,000 and up, Governor. And still you're not going to get there.
It's totally unrealistic. It cannot be done. You can't take away every single productive piece of profit that people make. You know, the year before that Ocasio-Cortez was born, in 1989, there were people who said that if we didn't take immediate and drastic action to get rid of fossil fuels, by the year 2000, the whole world would turn into a great big, complete ball of fire. Well, guess what? We somehow got through the year 2000. Now, I'm not saying there's not a climate change, but on the other hand, I thought the whole idea that liberals believed about selection, survival of the fittest and the selection process was that we are always adapting to change. I guess that's not the case.
All right, final word to you, Namiki, quick.
Well, the reality is that the most impoverished communities, the most marginalized communities are the first to be affected by climate change. I mean, the facts are out. This isn't about climate change, whether or not you believe it anymore. It's about survival. We are over-consuming. We're overpopulated on this planet. Our water, our fish are not healthy anymore. And that is because we are polluting, whether it's the air pollutants or the chemical pollutants. I mean, this is what's affecting the next generation.
Namiki.
And the largest generation in history, if they have children, that is going to continue to overpopulate.
Okay, so
we have to be
Namiki,
more responsible.
no more kids?
I think we have to be much more responsible.
Okay,
I mean,
and
not only
Governor
do we have to
says-
crack down on emissions, but we have to be more responsible.
Okay.
You know,
we got to leave it there. Governor says lots of
endangering the
kids.
next generation.
You say think about it. Okay, Namiki.
think about it.
Governor Huckabee, great to have both of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon.
No more children. I want you to understand what she said is totally different from what science is. Science is an observation, theoretically presented based on experimentation, with observations delivered in a conclusion. That's science. Science is not something that you have to believe. Science is something that is evidenced as fact and can be proven not once, not twice, not 3 times, but as many times as is true. Here's a science fact. If the oven is on and your hand, if you suffer not from any neurological disorders, and your hand is astutely, profoundly normal, touches the stove, you will let go of your hand, you'll let go of the stove, and hopefully you don't let go of the hand, but you'll let go of the stove and you will say the stove is hot. That, my friends, is a quick scientific experiment, and it doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter what race you are, it doesn't matter what sex you are, and it doesn't matter who you sexed up last night. All demographics covered. A normal hand on a hot stove will tell you that it's hot. That's based on observation. You don't have to believe it, it just is. Here's something that you do have to believe, because you have no proof of it. That literally Jesus Christ rose on the 50th day into heaven in the Pentecost. That requires faith. Faith that can't be given to you. I mean, it's not faith that you can't create. It has to be given to you by God. That requires belief. Can I give you the definition, the online etymology dictionary for belief here? Just want to follow, for those following along at home. Believe is to have faith or confidence. What they're trying to do, the evangelical environmentalists, I might as well go ahead and tell you that's what they are. What they're trying to tell you is that although we have no fact or evidence, because in the next segment I'm going to give you 100 reasons as to why there's no such thing. It's man-made global warming. You try it yourself. They're trying to tell you that even though we have proof that has been disproven, you must believe. Only someone satanic would tell you to do that. Only someone who wants to take advantage of you would tell you that. And when we come back in the second half of our program, I'm going to show you how devilish the Democrats are. Yeah, I'm using terms like evil, satanic, and devilish because they're cultic at this particular point. And it doesn't matter. And how it doesn't matter, even those people who know it doesn't exist feel that they have to come up with an answer for the hope that lies within AOC. We'll be right back. And by the way, the question of the day is not, do you know where your children are? It is, do your children know where you are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
I'm Paul Stanley of KISS. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
I'm Councilman Eric Joya. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Today is a very sad 3-year anniversary of a double homicide in Spartanburg, and this crime is still unsolved. The family of the victim spoke out today, pleading for justice in this case. Our Diane Lee is joining us now with a lot more on this story. Diane?
Amy, the family says that they fear the case may not get solved and that they haven't heard from Spartanburg investigators in a while. But we checked with police, who say this case is far from cold.
This was the scene on William Street in Spartanburg 3 years ago after 24-year-old Jeffrey Jamar Woodruff and 30-year-old Alan Keith Sullivan were shot dead in a car. Police laid out 90 evidence markers, but today, still no arrests.
so now here we are, 3 years later.
The family gathered this afternoon at the scene of the crime, urging someone to come forward that can help solve the case.
This killer's out here somewhere still looking at us laughing.
Faye Woodruff, Jeffrey's mother, is concerned the case is running cold and urges investigators to keep the families informed.
This is not a cold case. We have 2 investigators that are assigned to that case, and it's their case, and they're fully aware of it. And so as information comes in, we follow up on it immediately.
Art Littlejohn with the Spartanburg Police Department says investigators have information that puts them close, but not close enough to make an arrest. They urge any witnesses to make an anonymous call.
It's a shame that some people can get away with a double homicide. You know, in a small city like Spartanburg, where everybody, especially this community, everybody knows everybody.
The family has raised more reward money this year, bringing the total to $2,500. They know no amount can bring back the victims and the father of these 2 young boys, but they say justice will help them heal.
It was a nightmare when they told me, and it's still a nightmare. And it's like a dream I can't wake up from.
Yeah, and police, Amy, urge anyone who may have witnessed anything to call 888-CRIME-SC. You can remain anonymous, and if it leads to an arrest, you will get the reward money. Amy?
It's always amazing, isn't it, Diane, to see these families just stand there right at the scene of a crime begging for information that can give them the justice they're after. The police, talked about it not being a cold case, but what would it take to have it become a cold case? I mean, why don't they consider it, considering it's been 3 years?
It has been a long time. With this case in particular, police believe that there are more people who witnessed the crime that for whatever reason haven't come forward. And again, they do think that they have quite a bit of evidence to be able to pinpoint who may be involved, but they cannot make an arrest without more evidence, and for that, they need some more people to come forward, Amy.
We hope that they do. There is a reward. Diane, thank you.
James here from RVS. We have one of our new simple site wireless systems installed on this tractor trailer. It's a 48-foot trailer plus about 10 feet for the cab, so we have about 58 feet from the camera in the back to the monitor in the front. And we're going to take a drive with it and see how it works, even on the highway at about 65 miles an hour. We'll take a quick walk around the tractor trailer first, to show you the camera installed on the back and then the monitor in the front. Let's take a look. As you can see, the camera is mounted all the way on the rear of the trailer, facing down so you can see the bumper as well. See, it's a pretty big situation here. Wireless systems in the past have struggled at such big distances, especially at highway speeds. So we'll take a look inside of the monitor and then we'll take a drive on the highway, show you how well this new system performs, even at highway speeds. Here's a look inside the cab at the monitor installed. As you can see, it's a really easy installation. Cigarette lighter plugs right into the 12-volt port, and with the windshield mount, suction cup mount, you can mount it right to the windshield. One thing to point out with the wireless systems is that it's best to mount it above the dash. So you don't want to mount it, below the dash, near the radio, anything like that. Always best to be above the dash. It'll give you the best signal. Here we are inside the cab of this tractor trailer, and we're going to take a look at how well this system works on the highway. So we're getting on the highway and we're going to see how well this wireless system works. Okay, so we finally made it onto the highway and we're above 65 miles per hour, and as you can see, the camera system is holding up really well.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.TheExceptionalConservativeshow.com.
gentlemen, we are working feverishly to come up with the 2 movies for Sunday. 2 movies for Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that we already have the editor's cut. Mary Brockman has made a great recommendation of a movie, and I will add that to the listing. And I am looking forward to tomorrow night us putting out for you the poll of which movies you can choose, you can vote for. I got slammed last week. I got beat bad. But I like the idea of you all choosing what movie to watch. So we will be able to put that out tomorrow night. Also wanted to let you all know that Dr. Jane Ruby is returning from Israel. She's returning from Israel. She will be on the air with me Thursday night at 10:20 p.m. Eastern Time to give a report of her work in Israel. And in addition to that, ladies and gentlemen, making certain that you get an understanding of how treacherous the Palestinians, Hamas, the Muslim Brotherhood, and the Arab nations are towards Israel, and why a wall was needed for them, a wall should be needed for us as well. It is to protect while we serve. So that's big. Thursday night, 10:20 p.m. We want to thank God and thank her for the service that she did in terms of covering Israel for us live throughout the course of the time period that she was there. And again, tomorrow night, we will put the poll out on Facebook, and you'll get the chance to choose which movie you would want to watch at 7:05 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. Mrs. Biggs and I are requested to be at an event at the local IHOP in Southeast Washington, D.C. on Alabama Avenue to talk about domestic violence, bullying, and the missing. And I get to be on the panel with a good friend of mine, Phil Pinnell. Phil Pinnell and I on the same panel. How about that? So looking forward to that great conversation with him. He was one of the first people that came to our side, and we began our cause of Open Heart Closed Case within his organization of Anacostia Coordinating Council. And from that, we came out and we became our own entity. And our purposes are to bring awareness to teen suicides, missing persons, child abuse, and as well, ladies and gentlemen, unresolved homicides like our daughters, Shanice Milton's. So, all that, and we'll be talking about it all week long. There's so much more. We've got the Trailblazers coming up. Raynard Teddy Bear Jackson will be joining us hopefully very soon. Raynard Teddy Bear Jackson, Pulitzer Prize nominee, also chairman of Black Americans for a Better Future, at the 10:20 mark of tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a religion. It is a religion. It's a cult. Global warming, global cooling, climate change, man-made. But the fervor of that cultish behavior and cynical look at science has registered a certain malevolent glow upon the hearts and souls of men. You see, they see, this is our way to separate liberty and wealth from a people by the state doing what's in the best interest of the people, even though the state can't even prove that there is any best interest or that there's a need. Ladies and gentlemen, $93 trillion was the opening bid with AOC. There's someone who wants to come in and underbid her because he wants to be president of the United States of America. Let's see where he started with climate change, and I'm going to show you where he is today.
What do you think about the changeover now, the recent changeover, and the Senate Commission for the Environment now has a senator who's saying that global warming is the biggest hoax that has been perpetrated?
The hoax is that there are people who are so arrogant that they think they have the power to change climate. Now I think it's close to mindless.
I mean, I think it's like, almost like denying gravity now. I mean, wait a minute, come on. It's the willing suspension of disbelief can only be sustained so long. The expression my dad used to always use is, reality has a way of intruding. It's intruding in a big way now, and people are beginning to fully understand what it means to them in particular. Look what Superstorm Sandy did right here in New York. All of a sudden, people who were saying it couldn't happen, they're now knowing they have to plan for another one of these storms, and another, and another, and another.
This is about 3 feet of water on my street, Des Brosses, in New York City.
So it gets to the point where you can't look anyone in the eye seriously and say, well, it's nothing having to do with man-made. You have outfits like Goldman Sachs and others making investment decisions, pricing in the price of carbon. When the financial institutions of America began to price in the cost of carbon for cost of doing business, you know it's reality.
There's your key statement there, people. It doesn't mean that it's true. It's perceived, and thus it's real. Notice, defining differences. Faith is true. It is built on the evidence of God himself. The left, the Marxists, the socialists, the pseudo-capitalists, the tyrants of the left want you to buy into a facade. Remember, the Nazis tried to make Hitler a god. Mao Zedong was made a god in China. Pharaoh was made a god in Egypt. That they might be worshipped, and thus anything they spoke would be considered real because of their perceived power. You see, the truth of the matter is, if you accept their foolishness, it makes them very easy, or at least it makes you very easy prey for your liberties to be snatched from you and your wealth to be snatched from you. $5 trillion today was the proposal by Joe Biden. Why? Because he wants power.
While we're standing around not doing much, the rest of the world is moving ahead. They're moving ahead while other folks are tweeting. They are moving. China is the greatest emitter of pollution of any country in the world. Now, the first thing I would do the day one as president, I'd rejoin the Paris Climate Accord, which Barack and I put together. And that climate accord, there's a provision we have in there that says that we're going to have to continue to up the ante, make higher and higher standards. And one of the first things I would do, I would call an international conference in the United States of America with all these folks and say, here's the deal. We have to all increase. We got to up our ante here and what we're prepared to do.
That's not baloney.
I'm not going to say anything.
That's not baloney.
We have a little secret going here. I want the press to know she pulled me close. I just want you to know, okay? All right? And I would delight it. I would delight it. Anyway.
Creepy old Uncle Joe. You see, he's going to come across as the rational false prophet. Yeah, because if you're going to believe it, you got to go all the way with it. You got to have someone who's rational. You see, the irrational prophet, the extremist who's out there who is defacing human wisdom. Oh my gosh, $93 trillion. There's no way we can afford that, but we could afford $5 trillion. Now, well, couldn't we? Because we got to save the planet. We got to, since we're all going to die in 12 years, we've got to save the planet. What difference would it make if you spent 5 or 100 or $500 trillion if we were all going to end in 12 years? And what exactly are you spending the money on, and who is it coming from? All of the wealth of the wealthiest people in the United States, if we took 100% of it, wouldn't be able to squash the national debt. Oh, dear Lord. So where do we get the money to pay for all of these pipe dreams? You remember crack? I have to first convince you that you're going to die, because I know the end from the beginning. That makes me God, and you're not God. Number two, I must convince you that I have the power, the absolute power to change my destiny and yours based on you doing something for us. Number three, I have to also use every resource you have, because only you are able to make this come to pass. And because I am God, you would not want to forsake me, for you shall surely die. So I need your wealth. I need your children. I need your home. Because if I'm going to pay for your home being fixed up, then, oh, wow, then, don't I own it? Socialism and Marxism, the aggregates of how fast you want to save the world from global warming. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, the Grand Master of Reasoning, yes, Teddy Bear is in the crib. Raynard Teddy Bear Jackson will be joining us. He is the Pulitzer Prize nominee and chairman of Black Americans for a Better Future. We'll be right back.
Sometimes imagination and adventure get a little noisy, but maybe that is okay when your heroes are living out the greatest story ever told. Bible Force, the first Heroes Bible, helps your kids to enjoy the Bible in a fun and exciting way. Take the journey with them and enjoy this amazing, color-filled graphic novel version of the Bible with over 700 pages of brightly colored illustrations, perfect for kids ages 6 and up. Bible Force also includes a companion app so your little heroes can read through the Bible independently. Bible Force, the first Heroes Bible, available now from Tommy Nelson.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Exceptional Conservative Show, live from the nation's capital. I am with my very good friend, Pulitzer Prize nominee, and also chairman of Black Americans for a Better Future, none other than the great Raynard Teddy Bear Jackson. He is in the crib, and the ladies are going, wow. Mary Brockman, Bonnie Williams, they're all excited for your presence. Hi, Raynard Teddy Bear Jackson. Bonnie, okay, all right, God. Can y'all calm down? Calm down now, please. And don't throw anything up at the stage, all right? We are honored to have you here tonight, sir.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You have a huge event coming up that many Americans did not believe that you could do on both the left and the right side of the aisle. But you have put together a tremendous event, and it is on the 22nd of this month, June the 22nd, and also June 21st. The 21st is the Economic Summit, which is a masterpiece. But on the 22nd is the 7th Annual Trailblazers Award. Can you tell everybody about that?
Yes. The 21st on the day from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. is our second annual Economic Summit, which is the largest gathering of conservative minority entrepreneurs in the country, period. And we have a lot of great speakers. Steve Bannon is one of our main speakers. We got Pulitzer, we got Michael Steele, former chairman of the RNC, Henry Childs he's the director of the Minority Business Development Agency, which is inside of the Commerce Department. We got Shay Hawkins, who was the point man for Senator Tim Scott on the Opportunity Act that got passed in 2017. So he left the senator and set up his own nonprofit. And he's going across the country talking about the Opportunity Zone. So he's got some very interesting things to talk about. And then that Friday night, we have our VIP reception with our honorees for our Trailblazers. And then we have R&B, multi-Grammy nominated R&B crooner, Eric Roberson. And if you want to know what true soul music is, Eric Roberson is of that mold, and he's just a phenomenal singer that takes you back to classic R&B. And also, earlier that day during the Economic Summit, he and multi-Grammy Award-winning songwriter producer Carvin Hagen, we're going to be doing a salute to Black Music Month. So we have a panel talking about all things musically. And then Saturday evening, we will have our actual Trailblazer dinner, and we'll be honoring our Trailblazers. And we have some great honorees and historic, iconic figures, and it's going to be a good time.
Listen, a lot of people, I want to focus right now on the Economic Summit, and then later we can talk about the honorees. But in terms of the Economic Summit, we are in one of the longest running bull markets in Wall Street history. We have the highest number of employed blacks we've ever had in the history of the country. Hispanics at that level as well. Small businesses are growing by leaps and bounds. Corporations are now being threatened with monopoly, antitrust arguments from the Justice Department. So business is booming. Why is it that the rest of the world doesn't know that? It seems like we are quietly doing well. You get my drift in that?
Well, this is one case where I could truly say that what you just said is bull. I was bullish. And what you said is very true, believe me, so true. So true. But again, as I've been telling you for decades now, you Republicans and conservatives are totally incompetent when it comes to communication. Now here, this administration has a great story to tell on the economic front, both within the Black and Hispanic communities, and they are just incapable of pushing back on the old liberal lie that this is a continuation of the Obama economy, which I'm dumbfounded that anybody with a half a brain, well, I guess that's insults for those with a half a brain. But how you can make that argument, and how, more importantly, how Republicans, this administration, and conservatives can allow that type of argument to persist is political malpractice.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I don't understand why, but in terms of the economic summit, you're going to have small business people with large corporate partners there, and they're black. And when you go to Republican events, besides maybe inviting Roland Martin and Bob Johnson from BET, formerly of BET, you know, there are not many Republicans that have a pool of successful black entrepreneurs who are willing to sit down with you and talk with you, and some of them mentor you. How do you do it, sir? How do you do that? What's the secret behind that? Because I need to tell the GOP how to do it right.
Well, Ken, you know, and most of your listeners know that I graduated undergrad from Oral Roberts University, and one of the things Oral would always tell me, because I worked for him for 4 years when I was there, he would always say, go into every man's world and meet them at the point of their need. I have spent 30 years in this party cultivating relationships on both sides of the aisle, and 1/3 of this audience coming up will be Democrats. I mean, prominent, well-known Democrats, and so it's about having relationships with people. And when you focus on entrepreneurship, that is one of the least political activity you can do from either party's perspective, because even Democrats who are liberal, those who are truly successful, they want lower taxes, they want less government regulation, they want the government out of their private sector concerns, they want to be able to produce their product and service at a profit and want to pay the least amount that they have to pay by way of taxes and stay within the law. And their attitude is just make the government get the hell out of my way. Wow, how interesting is that philosophical slant, Ken, where that should be low-hanging fruit. And guess what? If you are helping minority entrepreneurs grow their revenue because you're introducing them to key corporate leaders and they're getting more and more business, you don't even have to have a political conversation with them. They'd be a fool not to come out and support you.
Exactly. It seems like a no-brainer in this regard, but whenever there is a black event, because this is Black Americans for a Better Future, I'm always stumped with the question, are you going to have Candace Owens there? Are you going to have, I forget the two young ladies from North Carolina that took the world by storm with their comedic or syncopated, well, some people call it a minstrel show, but are you going to have a Candace Owens there or individuals like that, and why or why not?
Yes, I will have both of those women there at the same time, at the same moment. R. Kelly has sex with an adult. She lost an election in 2016. As soon as Bill Clinton passes up on an intern, and as soon as Joe Biden actually does something for blacks, then I will have them there. And of course, I'm being facetious, but the answer is unequivocally O-N. No, and lucky I don't speak in tongues because I could have some more descriptive ways of describing.
Well, there's some people, Raynard, that would sit back and say that you are a little bit more strict in your discernment of the elite globalists that you would invite to your particular event, that you should reach out to individuals like that because they have a reach and they can talk to certain groups of people rather than you just going to an ordinary summit of some of the most powerful leaders in finance and trade and free markets, stuff that you normally don't see at a GOP event that has black people in it. What per se would challenge you, sir, as to not have those individuals there? Because don't you know that they speak so well? I'm sorry, I can't even go any further with this.
Well, I mean, in case you didn't know, Hitler spoke very well too. Do you think that the Jewish community would invite him to speak because he was such a great orator? I think Omar Rosa would be pretty good.
Oh, yes.
As well, but would you go talk to her about conservative issues? When you, as a co-lifer, decide to go talk with Cecile Richards, the former head of the Planned Parenthood, then I will reach out to people like that. But again, why would Grover Norquist, head of America for Tax Reform, which has the no tax credit, why would he go meet with Tom Steyer, who never seen a tax that he didn't like?
Exactly.
So what the hell would they even have to talk about? And so again, the conservatives, they want to go get people based on Twitter followers and likes and clicks. And that's how they measure success, by followers. We measure success by results. And I want someone to tell me one voter that a canvas on or a diamond silk has persuaded to go from liberal to conservative. Name me one election they were instrumental in helping win.
Now, you've been instrumental. There is one, a multitude of them, actually. We're talking tonight with Raynard Teddy Bear Jackson, Pulitzer Prize nominee, Black Americans for a Better Future chairman. Got a great event coming up on the 21st and 22nd. But you were instrumental in DeSantis winning in Florida. And yet there were those who never showed up that took credit for that and felt it and obliged not to mention you at all. Is that what you have to face in terms of putting an event like the Trailblazers together? Is that unique, or is that, macroscopic across the board?
Well, no, I nothing I need to deal with, because that's what can people in the know who was responsible for what. And yes, as the old adage goes, success has a million fathers, but defeat is an orphan. So I am used to being in the orphanage home, but guess what? When people want objective data and analysis of what I've done, my stuff is public record, because moving DeSantis from 2% to 14% has opened up my number. That is Fox exit poll, that's CNN exit poll. And so, again, I don't feel the need to go around arguing with people as to who did what. Ron DeSantis knows what I did. The campaign knows what I did. The Republican Governors Association, members of the Florida delegation on our side know what I did. And so I have a body of work, Ken, that I refuse to justify for anyone, for any purpose. My body of work is public information, and so those who want to pretend like they were engaged, let them do so. But again, they will be a fly-by-night. They will have their 10 or 15 minutes of fame. Guess what? I've had 30 years of fame.
Exactly. You've done a tremendous job. You got a great event coming up. It's sponsored by Black Americans for a Better Future Education. and you're continuing the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King. It's the 7th annual Black Republican Trailblazer Awards. Let's just be honest, people, and don't start. I talked with my good friend at a party this weekend, Raynard, and they're calling me up now. They're saying, "Hey Ken, we got a table." I like the kimosabi thing. We got a table. People love speaking French to me when they want something. Can you tell everyone how well attended this event's going to be? And I'm going to mention the honorees when you do so.
Yeah, we'll have north of 200, and if we secure one or two other prominent speakers that we were working on that I don't want to jinx myself, we will get probably 400 or 500 people. That will be average around 250, and so we're right at that point. And so yeah, people can still get their individual tickets, even though I'm focused on selling tables. I think we sell about 5 more tables. I think we'll be in good shape, and we'll have a good crowd, very substantive, and just have a good time.
Yeah, and one of the things is because a lot of people come to these events and they think it's going to be the CPAC thing, where you sit there and people just going to talk at you. And it's not that at all. You are in relationship with these people. You're honoring the Honorable Fred Brown, chairman of the National Black Republican Council. You're honoring Mayor James Garner, president and CEO of Garner Group International, LLC. You're honoring Aaron Manago, partner with Potomac International Partners. You're also honoring Dr. Ida Fisher, physician out of North Carolina, part of the North Carolina National Committee there. And the Honorable Claude A. Allen, a healthcare policy executive. This is, just one, Dr. Ida Fisher, but all of these are substantial people. Why do you award what you award every year to these individuals?
Well, because they meet 3 criteria, Ken, and the criteria is very simple. Each honoree must have all 3, not 1 or 2 out of 3, but all 3. They must have made significant contributions to America, significant contributions to the Black community, and significant contributions to the Republican Party. And all the honorees this year are iconic figures. They have credibility within the Black community, credibility within the party, and no one in the liberal left can write them off as Uncle Tom and sellouts and minstrel shows. These are substantive people, and they are beyond reproach. And unfortunately, our party has not recognized any of our honorees over the past 7 years. It's taken us to bring these folks to the fore, which is crazy. Where the RNC has a $200 million budget, I have a $2 budget. You go figure that one out.
Exactly. And next year, I think Diamond and Silk will be their honorees. But
fake news.
Fake news. So fake. Now, there's a question from the Peanut Gallery. Bonnie Williams, my producer, is asking, what is Raynard's motivational song? Which song motivates you?
Well, it depends on the day of the week. One of my favorite songs is Jesus is Love by Lionel Richie. That's one of my all-time favorite songs.
I thought it was a Clean Up Woman. But,
well, I didn't want to embarrass you by talking about our relationship. If you listen to Jesus is Love by Lionel Richie and listen to the lyrics, it's a beautiful song, and it talks about how Lionel came up against all kind of opposition in his life,
Want to be started? Mama say, Mama say. Is that, I gotta ask you, as we close here, is that really Portuguese? Mama say, or did they just make that up?
No, it's an African chant.
Okay.
That's where he got that from.
Okay. So someone once told me it was Portuguese. But there you go. It's an African chant. Mama say, Mama sa, Mama sa. You know, he had a lot in common with Catholic priests. Anyway.
Yeah, I know he had a lot in common with Elton John because one of Michael's favorite songs was "Please Let Your Sun Go Down on Me."
I am going to get fined because of, thank you, Raynard. That's the way to end it. That I'm going to get fined now because of that.
Hey, no one's ever accused you of being fined.
Stop it, Raynard.
You just want to be started.
You just want to be started. Raynard, Teddy Bear Jackson, ladies and gentlemen, Pulitzer Prize nominee, Black Americans for a Better Future chairman. You can find him on Twitter at Raynard1223. I'm going to tell you right now, this week, go to the site, Black Americans for a Better Future, or to his Facebook page. Have a way, contact him, tell him that you want to attend, because the last thing you want is to have to pick up the phone and call me, because I'm going to pretend like the phone ain't even ringing. I ain't going to answer. You can't come. You can't come. It's just that way. Get your tickets today. Raynard, we love you, man. Thank you for all you do. You're awesome.
Appreciate it, Ken. Look forward to talking to you again.
Talk to you real soon. Ladies and gentlemen, that is an icon. Thank you.
Your line has been
Thank you very much. That is not only my good friend, but that's an icon right there. And I'm going to be honest with you. I have been blessed throughout all of my life to be surrounded by icons. I consider Mrs. Biggs an icon. I consider Sharnice and Jasmine icons. I consider Raynard, Teddy Bear Jackson an icon. They all have their uniqueness that makes them great every single moment of the day. And I'm going to tell you all, without a doubt, please share that information that I put in the chat room. But the 7th Annual Black Republican Trailblazer Awards, it should already be sold out. I'm surprised he didn't pick me to sing this year. I'm shocked, but I can recover. I'll recover. He went out and found a multi-Grammy award-winning artist to perform. I'll go with that this year. But next year, I got to sing, man. I got to sing for the people. But I'm going to tell you right now, you need to be there on the 21st and 22nd. This is a very, very important event. And we really want your presence there. Listen, we'll be right back with more of the best. It'll be a very quick one because we went over. But I want to try to finish up some of the stuff regarding, the fervor, the cult of global warming.
I started the Armed Citizens Legal Defense Network in 2008, and we put this together for us. The concept was that if one of us armed citizens are involved in a self-defense incident, then we have a network of individuals behind that person in order to help them get through the legal fight, if necessary, after the incident.
Deal with the aftermath of a deadly force encounter where they have survived the initial fight to save their lives and are now working very hard to be able to save their futures as well.
What really has impressed me is the boots on the ground side of it.
having had some small part in some of the cases where ACLDN has come in and helped people who are in trouble, I've seen Marty Hayes' vision for this organization fulfilled.
Last year, one of my students had called upon me, ACLDM services, after he was forced into a fatal defensive shooting. He was guided through the process. His rights were protected by a network-provided attorney and got through the entire legal process without any real difficulties. Now it's behind him. He's able to move on with his life.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.TheExceptionalConservativeshow.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you back to the Exceptional Conservative Show live from the nation's capital. We are not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, for it is the power of liberation, first to the Republican and then to the socialists, ladies and gentlemen. Put them four fingers up. Put the four fingers up. We are in the fourth quarter, baby. Fourth quarter. And we have very little time left. This show goes so quickly, Mary, and I'm not going to even dabble. I won't even dabble with trying to do a 3-hour show. It goes quickly, but it takes a lot of work to put these shows together. And so I am grateful unto God for this opportunity. And remember, Mary, please tell me tomorrow night's show, if at 2 p.m. Eastern time, or 2 p.m., whatever 2 p.m. is in Ohio, was that 3 p.m. Eastern? That would be 2 p.m. Ohio time. If it's 74 degrees, I will be blown away, because I'd be a better prophet than Al Gore or Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And I'm not a forecaster, but if I'm able to hear the voice of God and see that, boy, that's great. Say dental. What's the dental thing? Is it? Yes, and can. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank God I am so humble, and I don't talk about myself very much. Thank God I'm so very humble. I would tell you about how humble I am, but I want to save that for a later show in which I can expound more greatly upon how humble I really am. When greatness comes, I wish not to shy away from it. I wish to express it firmly before you. There you go. So, how great thou art. How great thou art. There are over 100 reasons why climate change is natural and not man-made. And I have put a list, and I will put that list out there. I'm going to share it with the world after the show. But it's time for us to really begin hitting back hard. Disregarded, I was sending a message to someone else. My bad. Okay, there you go. So in this particular case, ladies and gentlemen, you can think of this, that there is no real scientific proof that the current warming is caused by the rise of greenhouse gases from man's activity. Here's the number one reason why you do not have to worry about man-made global warming, nor seduce yourself to believe that if you raise taxes, you would stop it. The only way you can get rid of man-made global warming is to get rid of man. because man is the one who created it, right? So you need to control the population. And the best way to control the population is with abortion and infanticide. Get the picture? It has nothing to do with your spending. If you retrofitted every building in the world, it wouldn't change a thing. There is no real scientific proof that the current warming is caused by the rise of greenhouse gases from man's activities. So just wanted to let you know that, ladies and gentlemen, there is no such proof whatsoever. Now, here's something else that you need to know. When it comes to the whole concept of man-made carbon dioxide, man-made carbon dioxide emissions throughout human history constitute less than 0.00022% of the total naturally emitted from the mantle of the earth during geological history. We make no real difference. Can I make that clear to you? We make no real difference. We make no real impact. But Al Gore and AOC don't want you to believe that, and so they have frazzled so many people, including Republicans, as to believe that there's man-made global warming. Does not exist. Here's another one. Warmer periods of the Earth's history came around 800 years before rises in CO2 levels. We're a long way off from there being real global warming in the world, is basically what they're saying. We are a long way off. Here's number 4. And there are 100 of them. There are 100, but here I'm going to give you 5. After World War II, there was a huge surge in recorded CO2 emissions, but global temperatures fell for 4 decades after 1940. Explain how that happened. We went through a war that was on 3-4 continents. We were in a war. We were fighting Italy, we were fighting North Africa, we were fighting in Japan, and we were fighting in Europe. Well, at least 3 continents. We were fighting, and bombs blowing, nuclear weapons, all that, and temperatures fell. So explain how man-made global warming did not sustain the temperatures. Because their first response would be there were more people back then, but that's not true. There are more people today than there was back then. When they say that, they really mean we need to control the population, we need to commit abortion and infanticide, we need to kill people, and we need to take your wealth. Here's the 5th one. Throughout the Earth's history, temperatures have often been warmer than now, and CO2 levels have often been higher, more than 10 times as high. Ladies and gentlemen, if you believe what the Democrats are selling, I have a twin tower to sell you in New York. If you believe this, then I'm questioning your faith in God. Yeah, I said it on tonight's show. I'm really questioning it. Because God did not give you a spirit of fear, but he gave you a spirit of love, power, and a sound mind. You would think this thing through before you fell for it. And if we are falling for it right now, imagine how more worse it would become if certain things happen. I want you to understand something. Before the Pilgrims got here, tornadoes hit the Midwest. It wasn't the Midwest then, it was just the middle of Indian country that was taken by the Spaniards. So just want to let you know that. Literally. There were hurricanes. And guess what? We didn't have a meteorological system that was studying them at that time. And yet, there are fewer hurricanes today than there were 40 years ago. But they're so big now. Yeah. And, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't remember anything else I said tonight, I hope that you do remember this. God bless America. It is now time, ladies and gentlemen, for America to bless God. We'll be back tomorrow night. Janice Hall will be with me, and that'll be at 10:20 hour. Janice Hall, the J Hall World Report. From all of us at TECN TV, for smooches to Mary Brockman, and then we're thankful to God for everything else. We'll see you tomorrow night.